Welcome to my first video on me taking a trade. So today I took a trade on SPX500 during the New York session, which starts at 2:30 UK time. This is my first trade which I took after a couple months, which was a dub, and I made 1% on it, so I'll show you how it's done. Don't worry if you don't understand what I'm talking about with the trading words. I'll make videos so you guys can learn what they are and to make sure you understand, but there are advanced traders out there that already understand the words. So I always mark out the opening time of the market, which is 2:30. I then check the daily bias with my 1 hour time frame, and I can see that we are bullish. So there is a bullish chart here, and there is a break of structure right here, indicating that I'm only looking for buys. Now I go back to the 15-minute time frame and I look for points of interest. So what I see is a fair value gap, and I mark it out here. I also see a fair value gap here, a fair value gap here as well, and what I see as well is what I need to do is mark out my liquidity points. So because we are looking for buys, then we are looking for sell side liquidity. So my liquidity that I marked out is this one, this one, this one too, and this one, as it's within the fair value gap. So the next step was to simply wait till market open and see how the market moves. So I'll go into the 1 minute and I pretty much wait for the market to change direction, wipe people out with liquidity, and then push back up. So what happened was the price swept through this fair value gap, so I removed this. It also swept through this liquidity and continued downwards. Also remove that. It also swept through this fair value gap, so I'll mark that down. And then it swept through this liquidity, so I'll also mark this down. But it also can go and touch this fair value gap, and it started reversing backwards. So my next step was to look for a break of structure. So there was a break of structure right here. So the market broke structure here, and as soon as it broke structure, I marked out the fair value gaps. So there was one here which I was interested in. If the price was to come back down. I also found a fair value gap here, and a fair value gap here. So the price was pushing up. I have these fair value gaps, and then it started retrieving back down where I usually enter off. So I use my equilibrium tool, start from the bottom to the top, and I wanted the price to kind of go into this fair value gap and then push back up. However, it did not do that. What it did instead was it moved to fair value gap, reacted off it perfectly. However, the price was just too high at the time, so with the equilibrium there was no way I would have been entering like here. I kind of wanted the price to go down here. However, the price did fall further back down, and it's created another fair value gap. So I waited for this fair value gap to be touched into, and as you can see, it was touched in here, and there was a positive candle going, bullish candle going up. So I waited for that candle to close, as I thought this was a good position. So marked out my targets. So I used this low as a stop loss, and I had a few pips. Also use my TP. I just used TP1 as pretty much this is an all-time high. So I looked into what the liquidity is. So the highest liquidity was this here, which would have been a 1.11. So as I entered, my entry was quite bad. It entered me around here where it was like a 0.69. So I wasn't going to make too much. However, what happened was the price kind of dipped back into this fair value gap, and then this is a candle which determines if the price will shoot up or not, and the price pretty much shot up, went further back down again, and you could have entered here, would have had an even better position, but it basically shot up, broke the all-time high, and then it retreated. However, I did take profit on this trade, and I'll show you the proof as well. So I was like 1% up. I just closed it, even though I was kind of filled in here. I kind of closed it around somewhere here just to get the 1-to-1, which I'm happy about. What I could have done better was used a tighter stop loss, which I would have made more profit from. So I could have just simply used like a tighter stop loss like this one to get a higher risk to reward ratio. However, this would also increase the risk, but overall I'm happy with this trade. This was my first trade back, so I am a bit rusty, but I'm hoping to win more trades just like this one. I'll now show you guys a trade which I was also looking at in the morning session, so in the London session. And by the way, this trade I took was whilst I was shitting at work as well, so I'm also happy from that. So moving on to GR30, this is a German indice, top 30 German stocks, or top 40. The name doesn't really matter. There's GR30 or DAX 40. So same rule applies. So I mark out my time frame, which is 8 AM today, and I did not take a trade today. However, people in the group have taken trades, and they made dubs. It's a very similar trade to today's trade. However, I just simply couldn't find an entry, and I realized why, and now I know how I should have entered off this trade. So I'll just delete these, and from the 1 hour time frame, you can see that the price is bullish. As you can see, it broke structure from this candle here, so I'm only looking for buys. What did I see on the 15-minute time frame? So my points of interest were these three fair value gaps here, and also sell side, the liquidity, which I marked out here, as well as this one, and I waited for the market to open. So as the market opened, the price started going down to swipe out people and liquidate them. It went perfectly into this fair value gap. It also swept the liquidity. So what I was looking for is break of structure, which I did not find until here. So this is the break of structure, and after a break of structure I was looking for my points of interest. Just remove this. So my points of interest were fair value gap, just this one, this one, this small one. So the price shot up, and oh, there's another fair value gap right here. So the price shot up and then it went into this fair value gap. However, I did not want to enter off here, as I looked at the equilibrium and it was not like in the buy side. So I was kind of hoping the price would go back into these fair value gaps, just like the SPX trade. But the price did not do that, and instead there was a fair value gap over here, which I somehow missed because I was at work. Let's remove this one. And this candle indicates if the price will kind of go up or down. So whatever comes after this candle, like a bullish candle like this one, the price will go up, or if it's a black one, then it will be bearish and go back down. The candle appeared to be bullish, and if I get the equilibrium tool out again, from the most recent low to the most recent high, the price was almost like in the buy zone. That's why I wasn't too confident. Or if I use this one, I wouldn't have been too confident in this one, which I need kind of more experience with. But I could have just entered here and used like a stop loss, since this fair value gap has already been tapped in, and since it was like this one was tapped in, this one was tapped in, and this one was tapped in, the price just wanted to shoot up. So I would have used like a tighter stop loss, potentially this one, put a few pips extra. So I used just 2 extra pips just for the spread, and I would have targeted basically liquidity. So I'd look into the 15-minute time frame, I can't seem to find, oh there it is, and I would have targeted pretty much this high, maybe this one, like 2 TPs, and this would have been a 1.82 trade, and this one would have been a 2.82, and I could have targeted even higher ones, but that would have been slightly too risky for me. That's why pretty much gaining experience with the market is crucial. I've been out since March, so I've been out for like a long time, but I will get back to it. And the trade ended up shooting so high up, it's insane. But this is the trade from today. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm hoping to improve my explanations, as this is the first day and my first time kind of commentating over something. I am like not the best, but I'm hoping to improve soon. But yeah, thank you guys for watching.